Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new, I'm Justin Tech and I review smart home gadgets, lots of Philips Hue, wearables, and just tech that I think you need to know about. So if that interests you, you guys should subscribe and click that bell for alerts. Today, we are looking at the all-new Wemo Stage remote for HomeKit. The Stage remote can be programmed to control up to 6 actions. These can activate scenes or any HomeKit device. At first glance, it seems like it could be a great remote for your HomeKit setup, but there are some limitations and issues you should be aware of before you consider purchasing. It's going for $50 on the Belkin website, and I've thrown a link down in the description. Helps me out when you use that. All right, let's check this thing out. Look at this little guy. Look at how cute that is. It is so small. It's actually the same size as the Lutron remotes, which means that you can install these into a standard wall switch using the included wall plate mount. The wall plate has 3M adhesive tape and is also magnetic. So is the remote. It's sleek, small, and simple. It's powered by a CR2032 battery, which comes included. Oddly enough, the battery read 68% right after setup, so either the battery was sold low or the remote sensor is flawed. The remote works over Bluetooth, but it also supports Thread, a new and improved wireless technology becoming prevalent in the smart home space. Thread technology creates a mesh network where each Thread device communicates with one another for a more reliable connection. But don't expect Thread support just yet. Wemo is currently finalizing their Thread certification and will update the remote via firmware when support becomes available. For now, you're stuck with Bluetooth, and I'll explain some issues I'm having with that in just a bit. In order to use it, you'll need to have an Apple Bridge for HomeKit. This can be either a HomePod, Apple TV, or iPad set up as a home hub. If you've got one of these, you're good to go. Setting up the remote is really simple. Once the battery is installed, press any button and the controller will enter pairing mode and blink yellow and green. Just have the remote near your phone, open up HomeKit, and click the Add Accessories button in the top right. It should show up there, and then you can connect. It has 3 buttons. Each button has 2 actions, either through a short press or long press. Assigning those actions is really easy right on the HomeKit app. Down at the bottom, there's my Wemo Stage remote, and as you can see, there's button 1 with single press, long press, button 2, and button 3. Now to add one for single press, for this one, I'm gonna just add devices to it. I just wanna control my living room ceiling, which is right here. I'm gonna click on all 6 of them. Click next, and then what I want them to do here is I want them to all turn on like that. I can test the action if I want to. I won't for now. Done. And then for the long press, I want them to turn off. So I'm going to go right back to those lights, and I'm going to click all of those again. Next, and then I want them to turn off. Just going to show you if I wanted to change it, I can hold down. This is where I can edit how bright I want it to be and the color. If I wanted to edit one of these, I could do that easily. But again, I'm going to have this turn off. Done. I've already done button 2. These are a couple different colors on our nano leaf tiles, which I'll show you in a second. And then button 3, here I'm gonna have some scenes activate. So single press, I'm going to activate our cocktail hour. And then for the long press, I'm going to activate our good night scene. There you go. It is set up. Let's test it out. On the first button, we've got my living room recessed lights. On a short press, they turn on, and on a long press, they'll turn off. Next, on button 2, we've got those nano leaf wall tiles. When I short press, it turns on a forest scene, and then a long press, I've got to try that again. A long press turns on fire. And then that button 3 is going to run some scenes. First, we've got cocktail hour, which creates the perfect vibe for a drink. And then a long press turns off all the lights and our front door locks. Everything might look fine and dandy so far, but while using and filming, I found some issues. The first is the Bluetooth connection. Because this was connected to my iPhone, if the iPhone wasn't in the house or it was far away in another room, sometimes this remote wouldn't work. So what I did instead was I connected it to our iPad, which is centrally located in the home. That way, when we're using it in this room, it's always close enough to have a good connection. Even after that, there were still some inconsistencies. Sometimes I need to click multiple times before a scene activates, even if the iPad's right next to the phone. You should see the scene react on the iPad. There you go, it finally blinked. Another issue I found was if I press too hard on one of the buttons, it may accidentally trigger one of the other buttons, and that's because of the way it's built, because each button is connected to this same piece. So make sure you're not pressing too hard on the buttons. Another thing I noticed is that the magnetic connection between the remote and this plate is not strong at all. There's one magnet back here, and if I shake that a little bit, it flies right out and falls. That's not that great, especially when I compared it to the Philips Hue dimmer switch, and I could see this being a really annoying thing for a lot of people. On paper, this is the ultimate control for HomeKit. It's small, versatile, and holds a whopping 6 scenes. But after a week of testing, I've found more weaknesses than strengths. Unfortunately, the Bluetooth technology isn't as consistent as I want it to be. And of course, yes, they say that it supports Thread, but it's not here yet. So you shouldn't buy this expecting to have that until it has it. So on to the next one. Stay tuned for a review of the Flick button, which activates HomeKit and Amazon scenes. And I've got videos coming every Thursday, smart home, Philips Hue, lots of cool tech, so be sure to subscribe, click that bell for alerts, and if you guys enjoyed today's video, give it a like. I'm Justin, and I'll tech you later.